Okay, I'm going to call the meeting to order. We have a quorum. We have Lucian Drukuski is excused tonight. And I'd like to just add, in reference to our meeting, item number 3 and number 2. I'd like to reverse them. I'd like to make item number 3, number 2, and item number 2, number 3, if I can. Just because the Latimer Lane is going to be longer taken than the Simsbury High School roof. Is that okay with everybody?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, public committee, anybody on the public having to say? Hearing none. First item would be the minutes of September 8th, public meeting. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any additions, corrections? Hearing none, all those in favor of the minutes, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, so opposed, so carried. Okay, Jackie, anything you want to report?
No, thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, good. Just make sure we cover you. Okay, if we can go to item 3, if we go to Al Jakunski for the Simsbury High School roof, please bring us update there, Al.
Great, thank you, Richard. We had a meeting last Thursday in the morning. Most of the roofing work is done. They did have a little material delay in the metal panels. That's going to extend the installation by about 2 weeks. They're hoping to get all the miscellaneous roofing components done by the end of next week, and that includes the canopy. You had approved a proposal for stripping in the seams in preparation for a solar panel installation project next summer. I did verify with the state that will be eligible for reimbursement. Your reimbursement rate is around 33%. The only little monkey wrench that came in this morning is that they were notified, Greenwood was notified by Manville that there was a material upcharge since their original proposal of $7,140.
What?
Yep. Remember that proposal that they gave us was about a month and a half ago. And then on top, they're entitled to 15% markup. So that would be $8,210. So that $106,000 proposal as of today is $114,210, unfortunately.
God, any thoughts there? I mean, that's weird. I mean, we go out to bid and you get a number and all of a sudden now it changes when you haven't even started. That doesn't sound right.
Well, this wasn't a bid, Dick. We asked them for proposal. Their original proposal was actually a little bit higher, and we did beat them up a little bit. They knocked it down to 106. And again, we found out about this morning, and they said they can't swallow, a $7,000 upcharge on the material.
Should they go look somewhere else?
Ouch.
Well, they have to go Manville, unfortunately, because Manville is the product that they use. So they can't go to a different manufacturer because then Manville won't warranty it. So they're stuck with Manville. There's not much we could do about that, unfortunately. Again, it is fully eligible. It's reimbursable, the entire amount.
Hey, Al, did they have a quote from them originally? I'm just wondering. This is real. I mean, this is what's going on in the industry, especially with roofing.
Right now, yeah.
I mean, if they could give us the original quote and the revised quote,
And John, I did ask him that. They just weren't able to get that for me before the meeting. Yes, they did receive a quote for the original installation. And then, when you guys approved it via telephone poll, we said, guys, this is approved. And this morning we find out that there's a material upcharge. But I will get that information for you. They did say they will provide that for me.
Yeah, I would get that and then we'll look at it. I mean,
Yeah, we should.
It's a real cost. I'm sure it's a real cost. I mean,
Yeah.
Now, what's going on out there today, I can understand it, but it's really ridiculous that they don't hold anybody to it. It's hard. All right. Anything else, Al?
No, that's it. Our next meeting is next Wednesday at 9 o'clock. We'll probably have one more after that. We'll see how the job progresses. But so far, so good. On track. A little bit delay with the metal order, but they'll get it done. Some of the landscaping repairs already started. We did have a camera that was damaged on the front, but they're aware of it. They're going to pick up that cost. The lift basically damaged one of the video cameras on the front of the building.
Right.
So, but they're acknowledging that, and they will pay for that directly.
Jason, you have any questions?
No, we covered this in our meeting.
Okay.
but the only thing I would say is to go back to it. is maybe we pay the cost, but we don't pay the markup on it. I don't understand they're entitled to it, but that's our negotiation with them. You know?
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. I mean, if you want to approve it that way, I could go back to them. I'm sure
Right.
there's a profit markup in that entire proposal.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I recognize it. It's a cost increase that they probably had no control or couldn't anticipate.
Yeah.
But, you know, maybe we shouldn't pay the markup on it.
John, I think that's fair. That would save you the $1,070.
How much?
It's also the principle of the thing, Dick.
Right.
Yeah, I think that John's correct.
Yeah,
Just the
I
principle.
agree. I think that's a good suggestion to throw that back at them now and see what that's where we're going.
Probably approve that based on that caveat.
Yeah.
Al, is the material readily available and would the work be
My
done?
understanding is the tape is available.
Okay.
All right.
So that would bring the total up, doing a little math here for you, to $113,140. That's the 106, and then the 7,140 material markup.
Okay. Well, we want to get that in writing from you first. So that our next meeting is October 4th. So hopefully we can have it then, Al, at that point.
Absolutely. I'll
No,
try to get
based-
that before.
Why don't we pass it now based on the caveat that they,
I want it in writing. I like John's idea of getting it in writing, the two writings.
Yeah, that's fine.
let's just back up.
I just shouldn't have it in writing. So
Oh,
see it in writing.
we could approve it pending the proper backup.
Right, exactly. Approve it pending that it's in writing and that they waive the markup. Why slow down the process then?
Make a motion.
Who moves?
Do you all understand the motion? Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay. Any comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, so carried. All right, Rich, thank you. Okay, you got that, Al?
That's it. Got it. I'll contact them tomorrow morning.
Okay. Anything else?
That'll do it.
Okay, and we have any bills, so the bills will come in our next meeting, I would assume.
Yep.
Okay. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank
Moving on.
you. Have a good
Have nice
evening.
Take care.
Yep.
Okay,
bye now.
now we get into the biggie here. Latimer Lane. Who wants to start there? Jason?
Sure. So as a status update, the contracts are under review for both Tecton and Arcadis at this point. Work is proceeding, however. So recently we had a design review and phasing meeting that included the principal of the school, the assistant superintendent, myself, and representatives from Tecton and Arcadis. So on the design phase, we're finalizing design, and in phasing, we're identifying potential swing space opportunities. So it was a productive meeting. Additionally, we're in the process of working on the commissioning agent and construction manager RFPs. That work's coming along. I'm hoping to have at least one of those completed this week. The geotech survey.
What's taking so long in getting those RFPs for the commissioning and the CM? That's standard.
It's
we did before.
been just a matter of putting together boilerplates and looking at the language, but it's coming along.
Okay, seems to be taking a long time to get that out. We want to move this project, and we want to get those two. The key issue here is the construction manager more so than the commissioning. And the owner's rep, but the owner's rep doesn't have a sample contract?
That's been moved to the lawyers for the owner's rep.
Jeff, did they move to you on that with the lawyer?
Yeah, it went over to the town attorney on last Friday, so he's hopefully looking at it.
Is he taking much longer? Should we bust his tail?
He's got a lot on his plate, Dick.
Yeah, I know.
We're trying to work with him.
So we won't see that probably. Will we see that at our next meeting?
Oh, yeah, I would absolutely think we'd have a signed contract by the next meeting.
Okay. All right, Jason, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. The geotech survey is scheduled to take place next Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And lastly, we've scheduled a prep meeting with Bob Selmer for October 1st for the grant.
For the grant.
And the state has.
He's coming out here?
Project ID.
He's coming to Simsbury?
It's a Zoom call.
Oh, okay. Okay, good old Zoom calls, okay. Anything else?
Just that the state has provided us with the project ID number now for the project.
So we do have approval there to move forward.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so we don't see the commissioning or the CM RFPs probably in a couple of weeks, I would assume.
Yeah, end of this week into next week.
Okay. Anything else?
That's all.
That's all. I'm surprised. Anybody have any comments, questions?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman.
Go ahead, Ryan.
I was just curious. I thank you, Jeff, for sending over the owner architect agreement. Do we know where we are in that negotiation?
Owner architects, we've agreed with them and moving forward with them with the letter of intent. They're working on the project now, are they not, Jason?
They're working on the project now.
I'll
We're
start with them.
finalizing language in the contract.
Right.
Yeah, so that was the question. So the contract has not yet been signed?
No,
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
no, the basic contract, the letter of intent has been signed. They're moving forward with their work, but they're waiting for the letter to be, or the contract to be finalized between their attorneys and our attorneys.
Thank you.
Ryan, was there anything that you saw in that contract that you wanted to modify or suggest modifications?
Nothing that I think is appropriate for this forum.
I thought we've basically covered that with Ryan. Thank you, by the way. You did give us some information. We did pass that along, so we thank you for that. Any other comments from anyone? Questions? So everyone's covered with Latimer Lane School. Anything else you want to add to Latimer Lane School, Jason?
Nope. Take questions.
How about Justin Hopkins there at Tecton?
Yes, hi. Thank you, Chair, members of the committee. Just a couple things. I think Jason gave a very comprehensive report. The only things that I will add to the due diligence portion of the project is wetlands flagging will be within the next 2 weeks. Site survey is scheduled for mid-October, and traffic counters, the traffic study will start with counters being out there shortly. It requires about 6 weeks for the total report. So
Good.
all of these due diligence pieces we've already scheduled and they're in the queue. The only other thing that I would mention is that we are working on an overall project schedule so that we should be able to share that at the next meeting.
That was my next question. I was going to ask you, is there any more significance on the scheduling on this project? Does it look like we're going to make it on time or look like we're going to have problems?
We're scheduling everything to be on time, sir.
Does it look conceivable?
Yes, we still have to have discussions about whether or not we will be providing early bid packages. This is going to be a conversation with Mr. Selmer at OSCGNR. Typically, there's and Mr. Buckiss can certainly weigh in on this as well.
Yeah.
But
That was my next question to him.
Yeah, your grant approval it will not be legislatively complete until the middle of next summer.
Right.
So we will have a discussion about initiating this process early. We think that OSCGNR will work with us and will be amenable to a district that is aggressive with their construction schedule. So, Jack, I don't know if there's anything that you'd like to add to that.
That really is the heart of the matter. If the town is willing to go out to bid and sign contracts for the early packages, be they site, concrete, and steel, things that would
go to the
help.
construction manager, would it not? We sign a contract with the construction manager. Construction manager signs a contract with the subcontractor.
Correct. But you're on the hook financially. So
Yeah.
whether you're willing to take that bite from the apple before the grant letter is in your hand is a decision for the town to make. The idea of building the additions first, and then as soon as they're complete, using them as swing space, I think that with the construction duration we're talking about, We're aggressive enough that I'm not sure that they're going to contribute hugely to swing space opportunities for the added spaces. I think that it still makes sense to try to get the ball rolling as quickly as we can. Another technique that we've used successfully on other projects is doing pre-detailed structural steel, where essentially, other than some final details of connections, the shop drawings are part of the bid set, and that can significantly speed up the procurement schedule for structural steel. So that's another thing that we might discuss as we move along through the design. But if the committee, if the town is willing to commit the cash before the grant letter is published, then there is an opportunity to get in the ground early and get a bit of a jump on things. And as Justin mentioned, with the town willing to be aggressive, I think the folks at OSCG will be willing to work with us as far as granting us plan reviews for those early phases. Not calling it fast tracking so much as it is an early phase where we can actually define, with the scope of the additions, we'll have a very concise package that we can provide and give them some
You are aware that
confidence.
the finance board has authorized us to go ahead and move on this project, so we have the money available. I guess it's a question of, listening to you and listening to Jason and listening to our Jason, Justin and Jason, to see where we're at, and whether we move that money before we actually get the approval or not will be based on the members sitting here, how they feel at the time you come to it and say, hey, I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to do this, it's going to cost A, Y, Z. I would think that under the right circumstances, we probably would move forward to keep the project moving, to get the project done and get it done on time and not ahead of schedule, but on schedule, as we talk about.
That's
Jeff,
a very, very healthy place to be.
I'm sorry?
I said, that's a very healthy place to be.
Yeah. I don't see a problem with that. Jeff, do you? Hang on, Rich. I'll be with you in a second.
Ultimately, it's the decision of the town manager and director of finance.
Right.
But I don't think it's something we haven't done before.
We've done it before, so Rich, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
That was my question to Jeff, is that do we have a paper trail history of starting to fund a school project before we received the letter from the legislator that we have the grant money?
Right.
Is that correct or incorrect, Jeff?
Certainly, we bid projects, and I'm not sure whether we've awarded them or not before we've gotten the letter. But I believe on Henry James, we started in April, and I don't think the grant was approved till July.
That's right.
Okay, well, just as a matter of due diligence on our part, I think it would be good for us to send a memo to the Board of Finance to make sure that they understand that as well. So there's no, last minute kind of, gun shy approach from anybody on the Board of Finance that ultimately they, need to know everything about what's going on with the financing of these schools.
We might suggest that a letter coming to us from the owner's rep saying this is a question I have. We can pass that letter on to the Board of Finance. Is that a problem?
As long as we include them in the loop, then everybody is going to be positive and move forward, and there won't be any second guessing later. Because it's a lot of money.
And they've approved the money. It's just a matter of how it's spent, and that's a good question.
And typically they think that we're getting the grants, so we just want to make sure they know.
Basically, the grant is coming, Jason, is it? Justin, is it not?
Yes, the assumption is that the grant is coming.
Yeah, just a matter of when is the timing, that's all. It's just the day it gets approved. But they are working on it. They did approve it, and it's moving forward. It's just a matter of taking steps A, B, C before the actual approval and getting the actual money from them.
Grant has been approved by the legislature?
Not approved by the legislature yet, no, but it's been accepted by the board and saying that it looks like there should be no problem getting it approved.
And I agree with everybody. I just want to be as cautious as possible about the wording and make sure everybody's included, because there could be pushback, which could be a delay at the state level, and we want to make sure that they've got their ducks in a row, and the Board of Finance still hold off if we are delayed another 3 months or 6 months or 9 months longer than we should be because of the state of Connecticut.
Yep, okay, no problem.
I think you also need to identify the risk. It's not, obviously you're not risking the entire project cost.
Of course, I
It's
understand.
a small portion, but I think that should be identified when you frame it.
Yes,
Right.
yep.
Okay, we're good. Thank you.
Any other questions, comments?
Well, I will provide the committee with a letter to that effect.
If you would, please.
Outlining the general direction and given the perceived timeline, what type of construction dollars would be.
As
technically
owner's
at
rep,
risk.
that'd be great to have that from you to pass on to them.
And just, so we make sure we're using the right words the right way. Your application has been accepted. The next step is that it gets compiled into what's called the priority list,
Priority list.
which then goes to the governor by around December 1st. And then it goes from the governor's office to the legislature.
Right.
So right now, to my knowledge, there's been no pushback on the application. Looking at the content of your application, I believe it was quite thorough. So I don't believe there should be any issues with it. And when we have the prep meeting with Mr. Selmer on October 1st,
Right.
we'll get
More positive.
confirmation from the horse's mouth.
Good. Anybody else? Yes, Michael.
Has the MEP engineer been involved in all of the phasing discussions to lend their point of view?
Justin?
Yeah, yes, they have, although they were not at our meeting on Friday morning. So they are part and parcel, a part of the conversation regarding phasing.
Okay, I think that's important to have them at every meeting, just so that no surprises down the road, because that can be the hardest, temporary systems to get through. The logistics around where the students are is one thing, but actually building it above.
The whole design team has to be involved.
Yep.
Everybody, and I think Justin's aware of that. I think that Tecton is very, very aware of that. We've been kind of saying that right from the very beginning, that everybody should be involved. The ground crews, the soil people, everybody. So that, we know what's going on completely. So, but Mike, thank you. That's very important.
Thank you.
Anything else?
I'll
Go ahead, Jack.
hold my tongue. I see somebody has raised their hand.
Okay, Ryan, I think you had your hand up.
Yeah, thank you. No, it was just a question on testing and coordination with the school system. Do we have ideas of when that in-building testing might need to be done and what that schedule is going to look like?
Justin?
I will have to take that and get back to you.
Thank you.
Okay. Jack, you had a question?
Yes, two items. First, is environmental testing within the consultant package from Tecton, or is that going to be a direct hire by the committee?
Justin?
I do need to verify this, but I believe it's being performed. Yes.
Thought it was.
Yes, through Tecton.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. And also, just from a procedural standpoint, I know our contract is in the works. Could be ready in a day, could be a couple of weeks. But if we could have a letter, if we Arcadis could receive a letter of intent to award.
Oh, you haven't gotten one yet?
I'm not aware of it coming in. I can double check with
Jeff?
the folks in Middletown.
Jason Casey?
I submitted that to our lawyer. I'm not sure where the status is.
Letter of intent?
Yeah.
Letter of intent, not the contract. Letter of intent.
Letter of intent.
Okay, well, the wheels are turning. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Anything else?
That's all for me.
Okay. Anybody else have anything? No other business? Any old business? Okay, our next meeting is October 4th, and it'll be at the library at 7 o'clock. Does anybody understand that?
I won't be able to make that, Dick.
I'm sorry, who was that? Oh, Mike Egan.
Yeah.
Okay, we make record of that. Mike Egan's not there. Rich?
Yeah, and is this going to be also a Zoom meeting? Can we do?
No, this is at the library. It's an open public meeting.
be there.
I'm sorry?
I said I probably won't be there. I'm going to stay with Zoom meetings, for COVID purposes.
We've met there before. We had our interviews there, so I don't know what
And
this.
I wasn't, and I did not attend for
Okay.
that reason.
All right, let us know when time comes if you're gonna be there or not. Anything else? Hearing none, do I hear a move to adjourn? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So be it. Thank you very, very much and look forward to seeing.